With all the chaos in the Gallagher household, it can be challenging to keep track of the Shameless characters' ages from the beginning to the end of the show. When the comedy drama series debuted on Showtime in 2011, all the Gallagher kids, except for Fiona, were still minors. By the time the series wrapped up with the season 11 finale in the spring of 2021, all except Liam were adults with jobs and, in some cases, kids of their own, showing the incredible timeline of the long-running show. The Shameless characters' ages are somewhat hard to get a concrete answer on. There's a distinct division between the younger and older Gallagher siblings, with Fiona, Lip, and Ian being in the older tier, and Debbie, Carl, and Liam in the younger. However, this apparent split does nothing to determine any actual age outside of an abstract idea of what stage of life each of them is in. Regardless, throughout Shameless' 11-season run, some hints and clues are given about the ages of the Gallagher children. How old the Gallagher kids are at the beginning and end of Shameless. One key character helps to determine the other ages on Shameless. Working out the age of the Gallagher family in Shameless can be difficult thanks to the show's somewhat muddy timeline, but it's not impossible. The ages of the characters in Shameless can be determined thanks to the introduction of Debbie's daughter Franny in Season 6. Since Franny was born when Debbie was 15, and celebrates her 5th birthday when Shameless Season 11 ends, it's possible to work out the ages of the Gallagher family at the start and end of Shameless using Franny's Season 6 birth as a starting point. The Shameless timeline isn't set in stone, and about 9 years pass during the show. This means that there is really no detail about how old they exactly are when the show comes to an end, but there are some good hints about their ages, with almost all of them known at the start. Here's the age of every member of the Gallagher family in Shameless in Season 1 and Season 11. Fiona Gallagher. 21 in Season 1. Fiona Gallagher is 21 in Shameless Season 1, which is set in 2010. This puts her birth year around 1989 to 1990. She had it tougher than anyone else in the family because she was 16 when her mother walked out on the family. Fiona had to take control and was the one who raised her younger siblings while her father was out drinking and ignoring his responsibilities. She was who her brothers and sisters came to when they needed help, which caused her to lose her independence when she needed to grasp hold of it. Her father even came to her for help when he got into trouble, and Fiona had to be the grown-up in the house despite being a teenager. By the time the show started, she was 21 and still unable to have her own life, as she was still watching out for her siblings. However, she finally had enough and left home in Season 9 to finally take control of her own future. She never appeared in the Shameless season finale, set in 2020, but by that time, she would have been around 30. Lip Gallagher. 16 in Season 1. In Season 1 of Shameless, Lip Gallagher is 16, meaning he would have been born around 1994. Lip might be the most tragic of all the Gallagher kids. While Fiona was forced to act as a mother when she was still a teenager and raise the kids, Lip was the only one who had a clear way out of this life. He was the smartest of the kids, with a high GPA and a genius-level IQ. However, Lip's worst enemy was himself, as he was irresponsible and self-sabotaging every chance he had to escape. He was still someone who, at only 5 years younger than Fiona, was there to help out as he got older, protecting his younger siblings and being someone who was more responsible than his father, even with his own bad traits. Sadly, his sense of abandonment, thanks to his mom leaving and his dad being an absentee authority figure, led to him making bad decisions and ending up with a juvenile criminal record. Lip was about 25 or 26 in the Shameless Season 11 finale. Ian Gallagher. 15 in Season 1. Ian Gallagher is 15 in Shameless Season 1, a year younger than his older brother, and probably born sometime in 1995. Out of the kids, he seems to have been born out of an affair his mom had with Frank's brother. Ian was also the one Gallagher child who had the most problems making it in the world, as he ended up diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and there were moments in the series where he stopped his medications and caused more trouble than even Fiona could get him out of. This led to Ian ending up in prison after he had an episode that made him believe he was a messiah figure and led a cult of kids into a reign of terror. However, the end was better for Ian because he found true love with Mickey Milkovich, and the two young men ended up getting married. This was one of the few happily ever after moments of Shameless when the final season rolled around. By the season finale, Ian ends Shameless at 24 years old. Debbie Gallagher. 10 in Season 1. While Debbie Gallagher had her baby Franny at age 15, the Gallagher daughter was only 10 years old, almost 11, in Shameless Season 1. This remains a big source of the show's overall timeline confusion. She is also a character with a strange character arc. While most of the kids were able to grow out of their parental dysfunction to become relatively responsible adults, Debbie went in the opposite direction. At 10, she was one of the most responsible of all the kids. However, as Debbie got older, she ended up becoming more immature and immoral and was the most out-of-control Gallagher sibling by the final episodes. It might be that she got tired of being the good girl as a child, but after having her baby as a 15-year-old, she then began exhibiting criminal behavior. While this may be due to the stress of being a teenage mom, it was a heartbreaking end to her character arc. Sadly, she became more like her dad than any of her siblings. She was 20 years old at the end of Shameless Season 11.